Hey there, I'm Untitled, and you're watching a review of Main Event, The Knockout Magic of Caleb Wiles. What is up, you beautiful people? My name is Tyler Lunsford, and welcome back to another magic trick review here on the channel. Now, if you're new here, then definitely please consider subscribing and take a look around the channel at my past reviews. Now, like I said, if you are new here, I do hope you consider subscribing, but most importantly, I'm glad you're here in the first place, so thank you so much for tuning in today. I really do appreciate it. I'm excited to bring you this review today because this isn't a review of just one trick. This is a review of 16 different effects. That's right, this 2 DVD disc set that you get or download, depending on what you get. I got the download, but this is going to be 16 effects review. Now, I'm not going to dive in depth into each one of them. I'm just going to kind of touch over like a basis of all of them as a whole. So without further ado, let's get right into this review right now. First off, you need to know what actually is Main Event, the knockout magic of Caleb Wiles. Well, this is a really cool 2 DVD disc set or download depending on what you get, and you're going to be able to do 16 card tricks after you watch this DVD. This is jam-packed full of material. Caleb even teaches you a couple extra things at the end, like techniques that you can use in multiple card tricks, not just the ones he teaches you, but you get so much with this, so many different effects. I'll name off a couple real quick. One of these effects is really good to perform to someone when it's their birthday. You have your spectator select a card after you point out that there's an envelope on the table that has a birthday card in it for them. Now, you later explain, as the trick progresses, that they choose a card and then you point to the card that's in the envelope. You pull it out and it's got a cake drawn on the back of it with birthday candles. You then flip it over and it's their signed card, the card that they chose and signed, which is really cool. But then you have your spectators blow on the candle and the candles get blown out on the cake, which is really cool. Like, it's really awesome, and you can even get that trick for free if you want to test out this 2 DVD disc set. I'll leave the link for that in the description. Another awesome effect that you learn that's one of my favorites is called Clue. Now with Clue, you have your spectator select a card, but first you point out that you have these cards and they all say something on them. They all lead up to a big ending, which is really cool. It builds, and there's like a couple kicker endings at the end of that effect. And I don't want to go too in depth into it because, you know, if you want it, then buy the DVD. But I will say that it is really cool and really good, and so many kicker endings at the end of that trick. The last effect that I'll talk about is a really cool photo prediction. It's kind of like the celebrity smartass. If you've ever had that trick or you know what that is, this is like a scaled down version of that that is cheaper, and you can hold on to it with a deck of cards instead of using 2 decks of cards. Now you have your spectators select any card they'd like to. Each card on the back has a celebrity's name, and then you have these envelopes of celebrity pictures that you pull out, and they match the names on the back to the cards. The pictures match perfectly with the names, and it's a really cool effect. There's some gags built into it, and Caleb is really good at teaching all of this stuff because there is so much to learn on this DVD. Now, as you know some of the routines included, let's talk more in depth about what you'll actually be receiving. Well, you get 2 DVDs if you choose that option, or you get a download that's almost a whopping 4 hours long. That's right, you have 4 hours worth of magic to watch and learn, and that is just, it's awesome. There's so many different things you're going to be learning off of this, like 16 different effects. Yes, and Caleb even teaches some moves and stuff that you might already know, but if you don't, he's going to teach you some that you can use in multiple card tricks, not just the ones he teaches you. But there's just so much to learn on this with the 4 hours, so many different routines, 16 different effects. I mean, come on, this is crazy. Let's talk more in depth about some questions you may have, such as, what's the difficulty? How difficult are these routines to perform? Well, they really range from stuff that's not difficult at all, like barely any sleight of hand, to no sleight of hand really, to stuff that's more advanced, you know, stuff that's going to take some more time to practice. Or if you're really into card tricks, then you probably already have a lot of these moves down, and it's not going to take a ton of practice to get the difficult stuff down because you already have the moves down, the difficult moves down. So once you understand the moves and you learn the basic moves, then you can pretty much do a lot of these card tricks. And like I said, most of these are impromptu. So if you want some cool impromptu tricks to do with a deck of cards, then this is something for you. Are any of the tricks on this DVD examinable? Yes, like I said, most of these are done with an impromptu, you know, borrowed deck, or can be done with a borrowed deck if you'd like to. So yes, the deck is examinable for most of these, and for most of the effects, yeah, pretty much everything's examinable. How's the setup for any of these routines? Is there any setup they have to do for any of these routines? Yes, there is some setup they have to do. For most of it, you can do the setup during the performance, but for some of them you have to do some initial setup for like before you actually, you know, go out to perform. But I will say that you do need to get your hands on some blank face cards, some double back cards, and some envelopes that are the size of cards so you can put some cards in the envelope. But besides that, those are the only things you need to do, and it's not even like gimmick making, it's more like taking some blank cards and like writing stuff on them for the effects. So it's not like any arts and crafts, just make sure you have your hands on those so you can write some things on them. Are there any negatives to performing any of these effects? Well, really, I'd say my biggest negative, and I don't even know if this is a thing, but if you receive the 2-disc set, I don't think it comes with like double backers or blank facers or card envelopes or anything like that. But if it does, then that's awesome. But if it doesn't, which I don't think it does, then that's a negative, because it should come with, you know, everything you need to do for these effects, because maybe some people don't have blank face cards, or maybe some people don't have, you know, like double backers. But if you want to get any of those, then definitely click the link in the description to go to beyondperceptionmagic.com, because I sell those decks of cards on my website, and really good prices too. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's the lowest price on the internet if you're trying to get any of these. So I do price match, so definitely let me know about that. But that's all the self-plug for Beyond Perception. But I will just say it should come with that. If it doesn't, that's a negative. But besides that, there's not really any negatives, because you just learn so much, and there's so much, gosh, there's just so much material on it. What are the positives to performing main event, the knockout magic of Caleb Wiles? Well, I will say, and I've mentioned this throughout the entire video, but there's just so much stuff to learn on these 2 DVDs. Like 4 hours of content is a lot of magic to learn. 16 effects, major positive, so much stuff to learn, and that's my biggest positive with this. What does this retail as? Well, this currently retails as $40 US, and is that a fair price? You're receiving 16 effects, and you're getting a lot of knowledge out of this DVD, or these 2 DVDs. So yeah, $40 I think is a fair price to pay for all the stuff that you receive. What would I give this out of 10? I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10. The reason I'm giving it a perfect score is because it's just got so much content jam-packed into it, and I feel like they're all pretty good effects. Like, none of them are like, oh, I don't see myself doing that because it's bad. Like, I see myself performing most of the effects on here, which is really good, and I just like that there's so much on there. So yeah, let's give it a 10 out of 10. I think it's awesome. Should you pick this up, if you want some really cool impromptu card tricks, you can do it with borrowed decks, or, you know, not all of them are impromptu, but for the most part they are, and the ones that aren't impromptu are still really cool, and I'm going to be performing those too. So I just see myself performing these, and I think you're going to be performing them too if you decide to purchase it. So yeah, I totally recommend it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd like to purchase main event, the knockout magic of Caleb Wiles, the link for it is in the description down below. Now also in the description is a link to my Instagram page. There you can follow me on Instagram at TyroAnsweredMagic. There I post all sorts of Q&A, sneak peeks, announcements, anything really, performances of me performing magic that I've reviewed, just all sorts of stuff. So definitely go check that out as well. Now I'd like to thank you so much for watching this video, and I'd like to thank Caleb Wiles for sending me this product so I could do the review for you beautiful people out there. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in another review sometime soon. See ya. Well, this is a collection. It's a 2 DVD.